All right, welcome everybody to a brand new day of CSI 40. You might notice the camera is missing. That's because it's at school right now. I needed it at school and forgot to bring it back to my house. So no camera for today. You just get to enjoy this beautiful wallpaper engine background. So today, the little lecture I'm going to record here is on the importance of documentation. So there's kind of this bad reputation that like programmers have, where like programmers don't read documentation, right? Like this is like kind of a meme. Why is it so hard? They don't read books, but you should. Da, 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 da. Like ain't nobody got time for that. It's almost it's a meme that people don't read the documentation. But guess what? It's kind of important. So what I'm going to introduce you guys to today, and it sounds like some of you guys have used it already, is a website called cppreference.com. It is sort of my go-to place whenever I need to look something up about C++. So for this homework and for the lab time for today, you are going to have to use it. And it's just something you should get used to using. Why? Because when you're an experienced programmer, you're not going to have a professor you can call on for help. You're not going to have a TA. You're not going to have a tutorial center, et cetera, et cetera. You are going to have to, just make do on your own. And part of becoming a fully armed and independent Death Star is learning how to look up documentation. Okay. So today I want you guys looking up unordered map like this. And this webpage here tells you all the different things you can do with an unordered map. The .add operator, find, count, contains, these are all things you've been using. Here's a list of all the stuff you can do with it. And it's got demo code. The demo code, of course, is the most useful stuff like this, where it'll show you how to make an unordered map. This is mapping between a string and a string, like with your Japanese assignment. Your Japanese assignment is going to be mapping between an English word and a Japanese word. So you pass in an English word and you get the Japanese equivalent out. Or you pass in, for the other dictionary, the other map, you pass in a Japanese word and you get the English word back out. And so this will show you how to do it. You can add things to the entry like this using square brackets. You can look up something using square brackets. You can also use .at, which is a little bit safer. If it's not in there, it'll throw an exception. Operator square bracket is the more dangerous version of it. It will insert if it's not in there already. But basically, I want you guys during lab time today going through the documentation for unordered map and learning something new that you didn't know before, like maybe clearing the contents of the hash table so that it has nothing in it now. Is anyone else's stream pixelated? Let me check my stream quality. I'm doing it at 4K resolution. I can drop it to 1440p. See if that cleans it up for you guys. So yeah, basically you can add something, you can erase something from it. Count is maybe what you should use instead of contains, just because your language server doesn't. It's set to C++ 17. Contains is added in 20. You can compile your code with .contains, but just to make that thing go away, assuming you don't want to reconfigure your language server, you can just use .count instead. So you can see that in this unordered map here, we're mapping between integers and strings. 1 maps the word 1, 6 maps the word 6, 3 maps the word 3. And then we add a couple more things to it. So this is how you can initialize something. This is how you can add things to it. This is how you can look things up from it. This little bit of code right here shows you everything you need to know on how to use an unordered map. And when you are an experienced programmer, basically you just take something like this and be like, oh, okay, I see how that works. That's going to initialize the thing, and this is the syntax they use, like that. And then you can add something like that, and it's got these little curly boys here. Cool, cool, cool. Here's how we can print out everything in it. Cool, cool, cool. And then this is how we can count how many times each number from 1 to, I think, 7, good, appears in it. So dict.count 1 appears 1 time. Dict.count 2 appears 0 times, so on and so forth. So this is, you can use a for loop to just add the ints in the map. You could, like, but they didn't add. You could, well, I mean, I don't know how you're gonna for loop that, right? Like that, the number is sure. The English words for 4, 5, and 6 might be a little bit harder to for loop. I don't know. Okay, so for lab time, that's kind of your big thing is look up the documentation because like when your TA was making WAR Part 2, which he did, he didn't remember the exact syntax for everything, so he went on to cppreference and looked up the documentation on it, and he used that to write his solution for WAR Part 2. Your professor and your TA write solutions to all of your own homework. We do it too. So basically, take a screenshot of what you learned and write me a one-page summary of what you learned, and that'll be the most of your lab time today. Now, after you get that done, I want you to go and do these as well. So write a function that translates a single word from English to Japanese, called translate in your code. Do the same from English to Japanese. That's also the same function called translate. Translate should be about 4 lines of code because you've already got the hash map that will link the English word with a Japanese word and a Japanese word with the English word. So all you do is just pass in the English word and get the Japanese word out. Or pass in the English word and get the Japanese word out. And it's like literally parts 2 and 3 should be about 4 lines of code, not counting curly boys. And then part 4 might take a little bit more time because you're going to have to split a sentence into different words and then check to see if that word is in the English language or if it's in the Japanese language. But all told, you guys should be able to get this done within the next hour. And when you get it all done, screenshot all the stuff to me, send it to me on Discord, and you will have 10 points for lab time today. Any questions about this? Garza, Lamar are typing. Maybe I'll put on some anime for you guys. Got some ReZero going on here. Can you post the prompt too, or are you leaving the prompts up? I will just leave the screen up here. I can post it onto Discord for you. I'll do that right now. But yeah, I'll just leave this up over the next hour. And then when you guys are working, go ahead and stream your screens. And if you have any questions, message me. You got 1 hour. Begin.